Today we delve into the darker side of animal parenting. While we often celebrate the nurturing instincts of many creatures, there are some that would certainly not win any Parent of the Year awards. From deserting their young to life-threatening behaviors, these animals exhibit some truly shocking parenting strategies. So brace yourselves, folks. We're about to dive into the fascinating world of animal parenting, or rather, the lack thereof. First on our list is the panda. Now, pandas are adorable, aren't they? But their parenting style leaves much to be desired. You see, if a panda mother gives birth to twins, she typically abandons one to ensure the survival of the other. This stark strategy is a grim testament to the harsh realities of the wild. The deserted cub, helpless and alone, often doesn't survive. It's a tough world out there, even for the cutest of creatures. So, pandas certainly aren't winning any parenting awards. Next up, we have the king of the jungle, the lion. In a chilling twist of nature, male lions often commit infanticide to secure their chance to mate with the female lions. This brutal act, though a survival strategy, has a devastating impact on the lion cubs. Their short lives are snuffed out before they even get a chance to roar. This harsh reality of the animal kingdom reminds us that nature's laws can be far from compassionate. As it turns out, being a king doesn't necessarily mean being a good parent. Our third animal is the small but ferocious hamster. Generally adored as cuddly pets, hamsters harbor a dark secret. They can, on occasion, consume their own young. This shocking behavior is often triggered by stress or a perceived threat to their environment. For the unfortunate pups, this means a grim and abrupt end to their nascent lives. Though it's a harsh reality of nature, it certainly tarnishes their image as innocent creatures. Hamsters, cute, but not exactly Mother of the Year material. Fourth on our list is the notorious cuckoo. The cuckoo's parenting strategy is rather unorthodox. It lays its eggs in the nests of other unsuspecting birds, outsourcing the duty of childcare to them. This cunning bird's young are then raised by their oblivious foster parents. However, this has a significant impact on the baby cuckoos and their foster siblings. They often grow up larger and stronger, outcompeting their foster siblings for food and resources. The cuckoo, a master of deception but a failure in parenting. Moving on, we find ourselves in the company of a rather unique creature, the seahorse. Seahorses are one of the very few species where the males are the ones to carry and give birth to the offspring. You would think this might foster a deeper bond, but unfortunately this is not the case. After a gestation period where the male seahorse nurtures hundreds, sometimes thousands of tiny seahorses in his pouch, he gives birth in an explosion of life. But the wonder ends there. Once the babies are born, the male seahorse wants nothing to do with them. He abandons them to the vast ocean, leaving the tiny, vulnerable seahorses to fend for themselves from the moment they are born. Their survival rate is grim. It's a harsh introduction to life, making the seahorse a fascinating yet fundamentally selfish parent. Next on our list is the careless rabbit. Known for their adorable antics and fluffy tails, their parenting style leaves a lot to be desired. Mother rabbits dig shallow nests for their offspring, often in open fields or gardens. This leaves the young rabbits, known as kits, exposed and vulnerable to predators. But that's not all. The rabbit mother visits her kits only once or twice a day to feed them. The rest of the day and night, these fragile creatures are left alone to fend for themselves. This lack of care often leads to a high mortality rate among young rabbits. So rabbits, as cute and cuddly as they may be, are not exactly Mother of the Year material. Continuing our journey, we encounter the negligent black bear. Black bear mothers often leave their cubs alone for long periods while they forage for food. This leaves the cubs vulnerable to predators and the elements. This might sound harsh, but surprisingly, black bear cubs have a high survival rate. It seems that in the world of black bears, tough love works. The cubs learn to climb trees for safety, forage for their own food, and protect themselves at an early age. This harsh introduction to life prepares them for the challenges they will face in the wild. It's a lesson in survival of the fittest, from the day they are born. From the forests, we plunge into the underwater world with the sea bass. This aquatic creature is notorious for its nonchalant approach to parenting. Once the male bass has played its part in fertilization, it's essentially a case of out of sight, out of mind. He leaves his eggs behind in the murky depths, abandoning them to whatever fate the ocean currents dictate. It's a challenging start for these little ones, thrown into the deep end, so to speak, with no guidance or protection. The baby bass are left to fend for themselves from the moment they hatch. They face threats from predators, harsh conditions, and even their own kind. The survival rate is dismal, with only a small fraction of the hatchlings making it to adulthood. So the bass, not exactly a model father. So there you have it, 5 of the worst parents in the animal kingdom. We've wandered through the bamboo forests of China, where the pandas simply desert their offspring. We've roared with the lions of Africa, who often resort to infanticide, eliminating their own bloodline. We've scurried with the hamsters, notorious for their cannibalistic tendencies, consuming their own young. We've soared with the cuckoos, those masters of deception, who shirk their parental duties onto other unsuspecting birds. And finally, we've dived into the deep with the bass, showing no love, leaving their eggs to fend for themselves. While these parenting strategies might seem harsh to us, they are in fact part of the diverse tapestry of survival strategies in the animal kingdom. It's a wild world out there, and parenting, it seems, can be just as wild.